Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Alright, so let's talk about this scene with Gloria Petro, I think that's his name, the Russian mob guy, Lois, Yuri, and Brooklyn. You know, before I hope I'm saying his name right, Petro got there, Brooklyn was like, we should call Sonny, right? It's a mob thing. Let Sonny sit there and handle it, you know, let him handle it. Because here's the thing. If Sonny would have handled it, Gloria would have had a much better outcome. But part of me gets why using Sonny isn't a good thing. And it's more for plot point. It's more for just, well, you have a problem, call Sonny. I feel like that's just too much of an easy way of just writing out a bad situation. So, okay. So he comes in there all stoic and everything like that. And, most of the people in that room, besides, Yuri and Gloria, are pretty much kind of petrified of this guy. Gloria, here's the thing with fear. It can be a good thing, okay? It can get you out of a situation that if you think that you're being brazen in, will not end well. In all retrospect, Gloria didn't really do anything wrong, right? All she simply did was ask this rude ass woman to lower your voice. We're sitting there having a good time. You're coming in here, you're being loud, you're being obnoxious, you're making it about yourself. I have a huge problem when people are walking in a room, talking extremely loud on their phone. I've dealt with people who do that, and it's so irritating and extremely disrespectful to go on a line and act like you're not even there, right? So I fully understand where Gloria is coming from. But the truth of the matter is, with this guy, he doesn't play by the rules that everyone else plays by. Yeah, Gloria didn't do anything wrong, but men like that, who has that amount of power, they don't have to sit there and explain that, yeah, my wife was wrong. Because in that situation, they're in control. Regardless if the wife is in the wrong or the right, they're in control. And while I do get that Gloria did not go through life in fear and she didn't get to the place where she is at because she was too afraid to speak, there's a time to talk and there's a time to shut up. Because it's not about you, it's about your family. So, she mouths off a little bit. This guy's like, you know what, listen, this is a waste of my time. I'm not gonna do this. They would sit there and salvage it there because Brooklyn's like, oh, your nephew can sit there. Because the only reason why he took this meeting was because of Yuri. They have history. Brooklyn's like, listen, I can set you up. I can set up your nephew. Come on tour, have a great time, and amass a much larger audience. He's like, all right, fine. There's a caveat. He's like, listen, she's not allowed to sit there and go to that church to play bingo. Now, we can all sit there and look at that and be like, that's bullshit. Okay? Your wife is in the wrong and she has to be the one that's banned from going to play bingo? On top of that, listen, this woman's a senior citizen. You're going to ban a senior citizen from playing bingo because she had the audacity to sit there and tell your prissy ass wife to shut up or just be mindful of other people? Really? Again, people in that position get to make the rules, no matter how unfair it is. Which is why I said in the beginning, well, if Sonny would have handled it, she would have had a much better outcome. But it is what it is. So I guess in some sort of, I guess when, and we got to sit there and see more Yuri. I like to sit there and see him be put in more better storylines. This was as good as they were going to write for him, and that's saying a lot. But I want more from him. I want more from Dex, and he's been on the show for a year, and yeah, I'm still waiting for that. Cool character. Just wish they could do more with him. All right, Maxie and Felicia. Now, I generally really like this scene. Okay? I generally really like this scene. The reason why I like this scene is because, in a lot of ways, it's night and day from, let's say, The Young and the Restless. Where everyone is rich, everyone owns companies, they work for big corporations, they don't deal with money issues. I heard back in the day, Lily and Dan used to actually deal with money issues before everyone became rich. But she's not going through that, you know? When Felicia comes over, she looks like she is frustrated. And yes, she is. She's a frustrated single parent of 3 kids. And she's talking about how she's in a massive amount of debt. She's bought an item that if she had more money, she could have already had it assembled. But she bought it on the cheap. And now she's like, I need like 5 other people to sit there and try to figure out what's going on. I've made comments in my live stream about the way that she is dressed now, right? Back in the day, she used to be the quote unquote fashionista. Now, she's dressing down, right? And I always sat there and it always bothered me, right? Because I'm just like, this is not how Maxie used to dress. Like, she's not. There is no easy way to snip this saying this. And I know I'm going to be a dick for saying this, but, well, she had on a few pounds. Still a pretty girl, but a few more pounds. Now, granted, if they actually had her dress the way that she used to dress, I feel like in some ways it would kind of even it out. But maybe it'll explain why she doesn't buy the stuff that she used to buy because, well, to be honest, she really can. Um, and her situation sucks because, again, she is a single mother of 3. Her company isn't really doing that well. She put herself in a certain amount of debt with credit cards and stuff like that, paying the bare minimum. And she bought this new house that she don't really know if she can sit there and afford, but she's trying to make everything chill and copacetic for her kids. And Felicia's like, listen, we'll dip into our retirement fund. She feels guilty for doing that, but at the end of the day, granted it's for pride or anything like that, she gotta think about her kids. So her pride has to come secondary to that. Um, Yes, it's telling at the times. Her case is a little bit different because again, she's a single mom, but a lot of people do have problems with their finances. It is what it is. You have more options. You put yourself in more debt than people of the generation before us. She does. I think she does wind up taking it, and it does kind of suck. But that's what you do when you have kids. You don't think about yourself. You think about your kids. So their retirement fund can sit there and wait for Maxie and her grandkids. Sonny thinks that Ava killed Austin. I think this scene does kind of go on a little bit too long because she spends the majority of it and they're defending that she didn't do it. But at the end of the day, Sonny's like, it doesn't really matter if you did it or not. You are going to be the prime suspect. You hung out with Austin the most. You have more reason to sit there and kill him because he strung you along and this, that, and the third. So the cops are going to be looking at you, and unfortunately, I do have to sit there and worry about you because you are the mother of my child. Um, so that sucks for me. Um, So after Dante deals with this cop, which I'm gonna be honest, just rubbed me the wrong way. And he came in there talking about, oh, you know, I didn't really like how you handled the situation in Pawtucket, blah 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 blah. I'm like, you know, bro, if you were in his position, you did the exact same thing, or you just wouldn't have been a good cop, and you should probably not have your badge. Point blank, period. To get past that, they talk about Austin and how he needs help, you know, investigating people and questioning certain people. And do you know who Austin worked with and association and stuff like that with Chase? So they get through that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, the faster this part of the storyline goes, the better. Well, let's put it this way: the less I have to sit there and see of whatever this Pawtucket small town cops don't remember his name is, the better. Like I say, he just rubbed me the wrong way. Dante at some point does talk to Mason. Mason acts like an ass. Like, I don't want you here. You shot me. Police brutality. And starts yelling and stuff like that. Dante's like, oh, here we go. So he winds up getting a nurse, and the guard that's guarding him is like, hey, listen, I'll make you a deal. But he has to sit there and tell. I forgot. He has to sit there and tell him 1 second. He has to sit there and tell him that Austin's dead and how he died and everything like that. And he's like, um, you know, listen, we'll make a deal. If you could sit there and help point us in the right direction, you're looking at a lot of jail time and may go in your favor. So Mason is like, yeah, I think Ava did it. You know, they've been hanging around a lot, been up to some shady things. So yeah, I think that she did it. Now I know most people could sit there and say, oh, you know, Mason threw um Ava under the bus, but to be honest, he doesn't really have any sort of allegiances to him. When Mason threw Austin under the bus, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way in a lot of sense because I'm like, bro, listen, at the end of the day, y'all are blood. Really? But Ava, whatever. You see in the previews that Dante does question Ava. You know, it's not looking too good for her. And I'm pretty sure Cyrus is going to probably make it a lot worse for Ava before things do get better. I'm forgetting something. Oh, Molly. Molly is not there talking to an agent from. I'm forgetting two things. Molly's not there talking to an agent from the circusy place, and Alexis, you know, came back to get her phone or whatever. They get to talking. Molly, at this point, I feel like she is being selfish. Okay, she is talking to this woman about looking for another surrogate, and she's doing it behind TJ's back. And I said this yesterday, and I'll sit there and say this again. You just had an argument with your husband. I know she called it something different. I don't care. You had an argument with your husband about how he's not ready to sit there and just start trying to look for another surrogate. I'm pretty sure that was crystal clear. So what does Molly do? Within the same breath, probably under 24 hours, she's sitting there talking to another potential, you know, another surrogacy agency to sit there and try to find another potential match. So did you just get hit on your head, or you just no, you just really don't care? And that's when Alexa's like, you need to sit there and talk to him. Y'all need to sit there and talk this out. And it's like I know people can sit there and try to make excuses like, oh, she's young and this, that, and third, but she's smart. Okay, so don't play stupid by doing something that you know that you're going to upset and hurt TJ. Like, there's a certain level of stupidity that I just don't get that they're doing for drama, because any person with in their right mind would not sit there and do that. And she's probably going to sit there and continue to do that, have another argument with TJ, and look even more stupider, if that's possible. I don't know if I don't think that stupider is a word, but you get what I'm saying. In the last scene is with Finn, Marty, and this hospital lawyer. Marty isn't there talking to Finn because Finn's not there getting defensive about um the fact that he felt like he didn't do anything wrong, and in all reality, he didn't do anything wrong. But Marty's just like, it's not that you didn't do anything wrong, but you don't want to sit there and say those things in the courtroom. You don't want to make it seem like it was the victim's fault for not coming in and getting treatment, even if it was. Let's be honest. He did sit there and say you need to come back, and the dude was like, "I got things to do. I don't got time. I got business to take care of." You don't want to do that because, again, when you're talking to the jury, they're not lawyers, right? You can tell the jury to stick to the facts, be emotionally unbiased, but people are people, okay? And for a lot of people, it's extremely difficult and damn near impossible to separate your emotions from the facts. And let's be honest, there's not one person that has not been affected in some sort of way by cancer. So you really need to tread lightly when you're sitting there talking to the jury about how it's not your fault and this person didn't do this. And of course, the lawyer comes in. Marty pretty much defends him and basically is like, listen, he's not going to really be answering your question until the trial starts. So you can forget all that. That's the bottom line. He talks more, and eventually she leaves. Now, Marty has to go up against what I'm going to sit there and call the black belt of lawyers, right? And Marty's like, you got an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle. And long story short, Marty's like, listen, if the hospital can sit there and find a way to buy themselves out of trouble, they're going to do it. And they will throw your ass under the bus. I think that's pretty much. Oh, no, I forgot. Gloria puts, at some point when Chase comes back, Gloria puts Chase on the spot, even though it's none of her damn business. I don't understand this. There's some older. There's always that one older person that feels that they need to sit there and inject their quote unquote wisdom onto the youth, regardless if they ask for it or not. And she's like, when are you and my granddaughter going to sit there and get married? I know Chase in his mind was like, yeah, it's none of your goddamn business when. Now, I just actually thought about this. To be fair, I'm watching another show, Days of Our Lives, and talk about the couple Stephanie and Chad and how Chad is not committed and Stephanie is just sitting there waiting around. And this is something, I guess I'm kind of backtracking on my comment. She did sit there and say a lot of times a guy meets a girl, think that they're just going to wait around until they decide that they want to marry them. And, things don't go their way. So to an extent, that's probably something that he does need to sit there and think about down the line. So part of me is sitting there thinking, Gloria, maybe the little attack wouldn't have hurt. Especially Brooklyn being there, embarrassing her. But sometimes being direct can sit there and save a lot of hassle and trouble and heartache. So I'm kind of split on Gloria's approach to that. Anyway, I really can't think of anything else. I really can't. And I always feel like I'm missing something. But as I always sit there and say, next part that's coming. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Oh, yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows. During the Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, and Young and the Restless. Now, before I do go, and I've been sitting there pushing this, but here's the thing. I sat there and I rewatched this live stream that I had last Saturday. But I have to sit there and say that was probably the most intense and funniest live stream Let's put it this way. I rewatched the video last night. I don't know, I couldn't sleep, right? So I sat there and I rewatched the video. I was dying. I was in tears because it was so funny. Let me tell you something. Let me just tell you something about Nathaniel. Not only is he really smart, very insightful, but he could be the funniest person I think I've ever met in my entire life. Which is why part of that was just I was dying. Okay, if you want to know the team, and I really think you do, you're gonna want to sit there and join the membership. Okay? Listen, I don't just push things for no reason, right? If I ever got a sponsor one day and I didn't like their product, I'm not gonna push it as hard as I'm pushing this. I had to really sit there and think about it. I may promote it, but if it's real crap, I'm gonna have to sit there and work some magic and sit there and try to find a way to promote that ish. Try to find any positive. But with this, I don't have to because it speaks for itself. You can ask any member just how great that interview was. And I'll leave it at that. So yes, with that being said, I'm gonna go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video in live stream.